Welcome. Hi, this is Tommy O'Neill with the Voynich Manuscript. We have another folio to discuss today, and I have indirectly found a couple of words within this folio that name this folio white water lily, just like the depiction in the folio 2V with a white looking flower and the leaf in the folio that looks like a water lily. And so there are two special words in here that were decoded to Latin and some abbreviation that went along with it that I had to figure out. And I think this is thrilling because this is one of the most looked at folios in the Voynich in the herbal and plant section. And people have often wondered, well, is there an herbal remedy with this? And there are words that point to something that goes along with this. And so, well, so how I figured this out, if you go into my cipher and you use Voynich cheese, go into the cipher and we go into down here in the link, Voynich Manuscript transcription, folio 2V. So pick folio 2V, and there is all the EVA Voynich translation of what the Voynich glyphs are. These are one-to-one Latin letters, I would say, of the alphabet that translate the Voynich glyphs. But it's not a language translation quite yet. So what you do is you take this, if you're following along and you ever use my cipher, and you copy all of the words, if you want to do a whole folio, and you go there, you copy that, and you simply open up my cipher, and then you click in the enter EVA word, and paste all of that text, and then go decode. And then down there you'll find out what happens is the Latin cipher takes over and decodes it to the Latin cipher. It's just a simple substitution straight across. And what I found was I had to look through all of this, and it's mostly meaningless text, quite honest with you, but with some Latin words like quartoro and octo and novum, and maybe little Latin meanings. But what Wilfred Voynich did was he used abbreviations words and he used little Latin words within the text so that he could disguise the text so that it wouldn't be decoded or decrypted. And so if you carefully look over the text in this two paragraphs from folio 2V, down near the bottom there's a Latin word aer, A-E-R. And so air just happens to be a part of water lily. And water lilies, they can't exist without air. And I looked this up. So this is a correlation. It may not be the direct name of the plant, what people are looking for, but it is a correlation. And it says, no, a true water lily cannot exist without, and I had to look up the pronunciation of the word. And the word is spelled air ring. It's air ring. Uh, uh, Eringa. So, reading along here, no true water lily cannot exist without Eringa. The spongy internal tissue provides the structural buoyancy needed to keep leaves floating in the water surface and creates essential air channels that pump oxygen down the buried oxygen-starved roots. So a water lily cannot exist without air. and it has an arrhythma in its internal spongy. It's called the spongy tissue of the water lily. So I did happen to find the word air in Latin, AER, within the decoded text. So then I got to thinking, is there anything else? And that would, and so I did look at the word. This word here is LU as a person, IB. So that'd be irritable bowel syndrome. So L is an abbreviation, or what ails you, a medical condition, and an ailment. And I suggested my wife she should get some of this stuff. Never mind. And so moving along here, perhaps I should copy that in there for you, and you could see what I'm talking about. Um, AIL, UIB, IB for irritable bowel syndrome. So looking at this, while traditional herbalists use white water lily, so white water lily, and what are we looking at? It says, for bowel issues, you should note that the most modern retail supplements do not list tannins as a standalone isolated product. Instead, they sell the whole root or bulb extract, which naturally contains high concentrations of astringent tannins. These tannins work by reducing inflammation and fluid secretion to the gut, which can help manage diarrhea, predominant irritable bowel syndrome, IBSD. Where to shop for white lily, pond lily. Because it is a niche botanical, you will find it primarily online through specialized herbalists, supplemental brands, and name white. So what we found with folio 2V is that, ironically, folio 2V doesn't directly come out and say it's a white water lily, but the two main words that I found that are indirectly associated with white water lily is air, and all water lilies need that um, one word that we're talking about, and that was, it's a hard word to pronounce, Eringa. All water lilies, it's a pronunciation, Eringa, and they all utilize an Eringa so that they can contain air, so they float along ponds, enables them to float with the air. And white water lily is good for irritable bowel syndrome. So going by that, those are associated with white water lily. It does not come out within the text and say white water lily in Latin. Um, Wilfrid Voynich did not write all of the Latin words throughout the whole manuscript to establish a one-to-one relationship with the whole manuscript, or it would have been decoded a long time ago. No, he intermingled abbreviations, small Latin words, and this obviously was in English, an abbreviation LUIB. So you have to be very careful with the cipher when you're trying to look for something. But if you look and you find an association with a plant, nowadays we have all the information at our fingertips, and that's quite more than likely what Wilfrid Voynich meant, because he's into word puzzles. One thing I know about, he wants me to learn from the manuscript what he was trying to relate. He was trying to convey information and teach at the same time. Because I would have never known that white water lily floated with it. It's so hard to pronounce. It's arrhythma. I would have never known that. So perhaps you've learned something as well. And well, that's all I have for folio 2V, white water lily, that it floats with air and that it is good for irritable bowel syndrome. I hope you enjoyed the video. I forgot one thing. I wanted to show you the actual white water lily in the image, and it is white water lily. So there's the white water lily, and you can see by the typical leaf that it looks exactly like the leaf drawn in the actual Voynich manuscript. The flower, yeah, that's very creative, but if you're looking at the side, you could probably image it from the side, but it is definitely a white water lily, it has the same leaf. So anyway, uh, there are all the white water lilies. I think I've managed to decrypt the white water lily in folio 2V of the Voynich manuscript, my cipher. We are making progress with the Voynich manuscript. Good night, good day.